What would happen if we all took the challenge to think of one idea that could change the world and then put it into practice? I'm going to introduce you to a man who's made that his life's mission. Is it possible for one idea to change the world? My next guest has taken advantage of every opportunity put in front of him and leads an extraordinary life. He's a businessman, an accomplished musician, a movie star, a stuntman, and a world-class athlete. I'm Bill DeMott. This is the Bill DeMott Experience. And I'm at Fortress Hill with 7th degree black belt, Master James Sang Lee. James Sang Lee is a 3-time ISKA World Martial Arts Champion, and I have an opportunity to catch up with James in his dojo right here in Orlando, Florida. So James, we're here. We're in the dojo. We're at Fortress Hill, and amazing facility. I'm former coach. I love the mats. I got excited. I see the statues. I see the punch dummies. Tell me about Fortress Hill. Where did that come from?
Yeah, that's a great question. My family is originally from Hong Kong, China. Fortress Hill is an actual place in Hong Kong. My grandmother, interestingly enough, of all the moms in Hong Kong, so imagine millions of moms, right? She was Mother of the Year years ago. And it's always that reminder of she made an impact in her community in a city the size of Hong Kong. And so I always thought, wow, it's really cool that my grandmother was from Fortress Hill. So some of it is from paying respect to her. The other aspect is Chinese characters for Fortress Hill, they mean a cannon on top of a hill that can never be beaten in war. And so the idea behind Fortress Hill was always that we could never be beaten, whether physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So martial arts is always going to be the connection between the mind and the body connecting. So we have this mission statement, and we have these 5 tenets that the whole team goes by. Every practice it starts out, what's the mission of Fortress Hill? Sir, to be world champions on and off the mat. All right, good job. 5 tenets of Fortress Hill. Sir, glorify God, self-discipline, self-defense, self-preservation of others, and glorify God. And so the whole team trains with that mantras in mind.
And once we meet at Fortress Hill, I asked James to explain Dragonfly training. James takes me to the Paragon School, located in Central Florida in Orlando. James spends a lot of time working with the autistic children.
We tend to think about special needs as in disabled. We think about it kind of like, well, maybe they won't be strong, they won't be fast, they won't be smart, but actually, they play a very important role of what is their contribution to the world. We just have to look at it through a different viewfinder of what that might be.
Say systematic training, sir. Systematic training, sir. Say strength training, sir. Strength training, sir. 10. Ready position. Very good. Say self-defense, sir. Self-defense, sir. Very good. There are 4 guidelines for self-defense. The moves that Mr. Lee teaches you, or Mr. Eric. There are certain guidelines before we are allowed to use those moves. Ignore them. Walk away. Run away. And tell an adult. Repeat after Mr. Lee. Say, ignore them, sir. Ignore them, sir. Walk away, sir. Walk away, sir. Run away, sir. Run away, sir. Tell an adult, sir. Tell an adult, sir. Very good. Martial arts is for self-defense only. Say self-defense only, sir. Self-defense only, sir. Ready position. Shh. Attention. 5. Ready position. Shh.
Martial arts. So think about this. I'm in a car with my wife and my kids. Get out of the car, walk across a golf course, get to an intersection, could go to the mall, go to the left, go to the left, we start walking, a car comes over the hill, hazard lights are going, and this person says the only sport that's ever worked for our autistic son is martial arts. I'm sitting here in the car looking at this person who I haven't seen in years. I don't say anything because I'm just dumbfounded what they just said. But I tell you that because that is the beginning of Dragonfly. Shortly after that encounter with that person, a group had even approached me saying that we've heard about some of the work you're working on with autism. the entire move one time in its completion. Do you understand the move? Yes, sir. Ready? Go. And they had donated a significant amount of money for Dragonfly to start. And that became the beginning of martial arts for kids with autism with Dragonfly. And now medical research is coming out with it from Yale Medical. We're here at the Paragon School today, one of only 2 of its kind in the country that are helping high function autism kids with their learning, their social behavior, and also including martial arts into that. That's Dragonfly.
Excellent. Ready position. Attention. Bow. Ready position. You are dismissed. Grab your bags.
And they are truly amazing. Dragonfly has revolutionized, I believe, how we will teach athletics, how we teach martial arts, and how we can connect with kids with autism and other special needs for that matter. Dr. Tony Atwood, he's the leading person in the world on what's called Asperger syndrome. Also today they consider Asperger and autism really the same diagnosis. Long story short, I'm at a 2-day conference and he's talking about some of the things that they're going to need that are unique to this demographic. One of them is that they will need to learn things progressively, systematically. That their core strength is going to be weak, and so we're going to need to emphasize time on the core strength. And third, in the special needs community, bullying is significant in that area. And why in this area in particular? Because they're not even going to be socially aware that they're being bullied. Well, martial arts is trained like a military. Piece by piece, systematic, one little piece for a larger army. 2, conditioning the body physically and mentally. And 3, learning practical self-defense. What more could you ask for an intersection between 2 worlds, autism and world-class martial arts?
And after a full day at the Paragon School, it's back to Fortress Hill with Master Lee. I'm a follower, and I know where it all starts and ends for me.
Yeah.
And while that's not, it's still in society, it's still not talked about a lot.
Sure.
But one of your 5 is glorify God. I want to spread that message.
Absolutely.
And I know that's part of your message. Like, drop the knowledge on me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you tour the world. You're a lethal weapon. like you have the best smile, and like I'm looking at everybody like, oh, James Lee's so cool. I'm here to tell you, I know who you are.
Yeah.
I know what you're, and when I say capable, respectfully,
Yeah.
you're a bad man in the right way.
Yeah.
And you glorify God.
You're very encouraging, Bill. Just a note, I've studied martial arts near 4 decades. Studied Kung Fu, Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo, Karate, weapons, trained in other countries, trained people around the world in hand-to-hand combat. I was discovered in the film industry in the early 90s, and I quickly went off into film, television shows, film, mostly action and martial art related. And I was living a very good life, came from a well-off family, had a lot of opportunity, going to the premiere, walking down the red carpet, hanging out with the coolest celebrities. You said Lethal Weapon, I was with Mel Gibson. And one night I got home from a premiere, and I had this moment where all the fanfare was gone. I was at my house, it was quiet, and I realized I had everything, but I had nothing. And I started to cry. So how can someone have a place to live on 2 coasts, have sports cars, be famous and popular and all this stuff? How can someone with all this stuff be so sad? And I said that night, and I was crying, I said, God, I got everything. I'm a long ways away from you. It changed my life.
I heard a friend of ours did an interview, Mr. Kahana, and I probably won't get the quote right because only Mr. Kim can say it the way he says it. Mr. Kim said he knew what kind of man you were as a young man, but you weren't ready.
Yeah.
And when you were ready, that's when he stepped in, right?
Yeah.
So to speak. And
absolutely.
That's high praise coming from, I have such a world of respect for him and for you as a coach. That's my thing. The Bill DeMott Experience is coaches and people and life.
I think there's what makes Fortress Hill unique is that it's not just the physical training. There's a lot of ways to work out. We can do CrossFit, we can play football, we can do all kinds of sports. But again, martial arts, a lot of people don't know this, it's the second most participated sport in the entire world, only behind soccer. So think about that for a second. Second most participated sport in the world, right? Part of that reason is the benefits of martial arts. Physical, I already mentioned the mental and the physical connection. But if you really think about a person, their character, their being, their life, we must make sure that the spiritual element is a part of it, a more holistic understanding of mind, body, and soul. Yeah. So it's a good thing. Yeah.
And that all takes place here.
It all takes place here.
And you just came back from Egypt for the 8th time or something, I think you said.
Yeah.
You have enough going on here. You have your students, you have your your ministry here,
Yeah.
and you're still going around the world teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not just teaching self-defense.
Well, you know, about maybe a decade or so ago, I was really contemplating, why would God give a man special knowledge, if you will, in the field of hand-to-hand combat? Especially when you think about religion. Like, religion, be nice, love people, give them a hug, give them food, and we're gonna give this guy hand-to-hand combat skills. Right? So I always kind of like, what in the world, right? And I met a man named Gary Haugen years ago from International Justice Mission.
IJM. And Haugen was working for the State Department years ago, and they sent him to Rwanda to witness some of these mass burial graves of the genocide.
And he was convicted. What does a man do once you see an atrocity like that? And in his case, he went on to build the nonprofit IJM to stop human trafficking and genocide around the world. Wow. I've been studying self-defense, for almost 4 decades, right? But what it would be if it was for other people. And so this idea started to come about of not just self-defense, personal, but self-preservation of other people, protect other people. And if I could teach them how to protect themselves, and one more step, if they could teach other people, then I would complete a significant impact on the earth.
You complete the circle.
Absolutely. Give back.
There's a lot of things, charity work, nonprofit, that you could have gotten involved in. And this is just me speaking to you candidly.
Sure.
You're a celebrity, movie star. You had a career. Was it easy to make that transition and decide that this is where I'm going to go?
I recognized that there was something greater than myself. You know, when I'm in the West here, we get so consumed with what can I get? What can I have? Who am I? But really, if we really want to love people, that's not going to be inner focus, it's going to be outward focused. And the key to that is being outward focused.
What do you work harder at? This
question.
kid comes here, this young man or young woman comes here to learn martial arts.
Yeah. Well, to answer that first, this is a martial arts school. We will teach you the best world martial arts technique in the world.
Obviously. Oh.
Win the world title, weapons, hand-to-hand combat, military style hand-to-hand combat even, guns, firearms, knife fighting. That's what we do. But during that training, time together, life together, eating a meal together, that's where the relationship is built, which gives me the right to speak into matters of faith and a personal relationship with Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I've listened to you speak about Joe Fife,
Yeah.
who came through,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's a successful.
Highly. One of the
Yeah.
best world-class fighters
Yeah.
there is. Yeah.
And watching the kids that come in and out and the people that work with you,
Yeah.
and watching I love to watch the expression on your face when you talk about what you do, and that's awesome to me.
Yeah.
And that's what these experiences are about.
Absolutely.
But to hear how it started with the cannon that would not
A cannon that could never be taken.
I'm going to drift again. You're an accomplished musician.
How do you know this, by the way? Bill, when you are Chinese, you have to understand something. There is a prerequisite when you're Chinese. You will probably study computer science, go into finance or something like that, and you'll play the piano or the violin. That is Chinese. So,
And you went from an accomplished, like you just didn't like, the nice lady down the street didn't come once a week and give you piano lessons.
Yeah.
You're an accomplished musician.
Yeah. I actually was performed in piano and violin for years, grade school years. Went to the American Academy of Music, and I think if my parents had a little larger say, I think the music career would have come about.
music's always been a part of my life, and I think it's actually helped my martial arts. Clearly helped when I was a fight choreographer in Hollywood, you know, because a lot of people think that martial arts on film is just the fighting. It's actually can kind of be like a dance, if you will, and not to diminish what it is.
Right.
But there's a tempo, there's a rhythm, there's a song going on. And so the music career actually helped my film career.
So you go from music to stunt work to a choreographer
Yeah.
to Lethal Weapon and Blade and all these movies that we get, to traveling around the world
Yeah.
and doing all these things, and with a smile on your face.
And what a ride it's been.
And what a ride! It's not even close to over.
No, it's
And
not.
to see the impact you have on your students and the community
Yeah.
and the things you're doing is amazing. I'm inspired. I'm not gonna get on the mats with you, but I'm inspired. So coming up, we have you have black belt testing at Fortress Hill. Tell me about that test. More importantly, for people who don't know, I'm one of them. How important it is, and what's it mean to get to that black belt level?
Sure.
And then take me through the testing.
Fortress Hill is very difficult. Fortress Hill was never designed to be about quantity.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Fortress Hill. This is black belt test. We have 5 candidates today, 4 for juniors and 1 for adult black belt. We usually use the term international black belt test. The test composed of the following: a book report on Sun Tzu, The Art of War, 1 to 2 pages, a paper on what it means to be a black belt, 1 to 2 pages, all physical curriculum moves from day 1 when they walked into Fortress Hill, point 0, all the way to today.
It's actually about quality. When we talk about a black belt at Fortress Hill, it's not just something we get. You know, people say, I'm going to get my black belt. Fortress Hill, we have this saying, I don't want you to just to get your black belt. I want you to become your black belt, right? And then we take it one more step further. You can't have a school that's won multiple world championships on ESPN not say after that and be the best black belts. Hence the statement to be world champions on and off the mat. When we give a black belt, we're encompassing the self-defense aspect, the MMA, and the performance aspect. When I say performance, I mean performance martial arts when they're doing parkour and tricking, all the way to being able to do it in the films to make it look beautiful as well. So we can actually apply it, but we can also make it look really good. The black belt testing can vary, but on the most part, the general idea is that it would be around 5 years, give or take a year or so, depending on the athlete. A lot of schools, they'll be like, you can have your black belt 18 months. You can have it in 2 years. Not even close.
5 years.
5 years is usually a solid school, and Fortress Hill will test everything from kicking, punching, MMA, weapons. They'll fight multiple black belts on the day. They'll take a written test. They have to turn in a paper on Sun Tzu, The Art of War, book report. They have a 100-point question on history of martial art and the who's who. It's not just like, great, thank you for your money. Here's your black belt.
And that's all before the physical aspects, the testing.
Yeah.
How long does that last?
It'll usually take about 5 hours on average. So they'll throw every move they know cumulative from the day they started till the day of the black belt test. Every single move that they
5 hours.
in 5 hours.
And they got to fight still.
And they have to fight.
So it is full speed. It's only 15 seconds. Everyone against Jacob. Ready? Go.
The difference is we have a different measurement at Fortress Hill. It's one question. Can you defend yourself?
You cannot stand there with a bunch of black belts and not move.
Come on, Jake.
That's it.
Let's go. Come on. 10 seconds. Come on. Come on, Jacob. Come on.
Best weapon of choice is a golf club. And after she's done performing in front of the judges, she's outside to meet Master Kahana. Jacob continues to fight for his adult black belt against other black belt alumni from Fortress Hill. Preston's weapon of choice is the nunchucks. And then he too will go outside to meet Master Kahana and break a board. And while Preston finishes outside with Master Kahana, Jacob is inside as he continues to fight alumni black belts from Fortress Hill.
Come on, Jacob.
Hannah's up next, and her weapon of choice is the chain. And then Hannah's turn to break the board. And it doesn't get easier for Jacob as he's still inside fighting other black belts. Jacob is more than 4 hours into the testing for his black belt, and he continues to fight because let's not forget he has to prove that he can defend himself. Matthew's weapon of choice is the tonfa. His exhibition is in front of the judges, and again, then Matthew goes outside to Master Kahana where he too will break a board. And after all Jacob's fights are complete, his weapon of choice is a hand knife. And then Jacob too will go outside to Master Kahana. Jacob has put in a lot of time. All of these candidates have worked hard for 5 hours. So you're grooming your kids, and I say kids respectfully, you're grooming your kids to teach.
Absolutely. My ultimate strategy for Fortress Hill is not that I build robots of me. I want to build world-class people that can serve in whatever that place is. It could be banking, it could be science, it could be sports, it could be martial arts. Whatever they do though, I want them to do it at a world-class level.
And after over 5 hours of work, breaking boards, weapons, kicks, punches, and repetition of everything these candidates have done over the past 5 years here at Fortress Hill, it's up to these men, these judges, these black belts, and Master Lee will now decide if these 5 young candidates have done everything they could do to receive their black belts today.
Matthew Boyles. Next up, Beth Cash. Preston Ray. And first for juniors, Hannah Cash. Adult black belt, Jacob Brennan. Face front. Ready position. Congratulations on your black belts today. Nice work today. Attention. Bow. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Ready position.
We're training you for somebody else that we don't even know.
Right.
Yeah.
Paying it forward.
Paying it forward. Yeah. These are world-class black belts. I expect them to be world changers.
World-class people.
Yeah. Champions on the mat
And off.
and off the mat.
but I'm glad we had this time to sit down and talk.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Thank you, buddy.
Sounds good.
Fortress Hill. Fortress Hill, get out of my way. No. Fortress Hill. Got it. No, man. She's not getting off of me. Somebody say cut.